at the conference with the American Papist, Thomas Peters, who astounds me to be so young. So, how do you think you've been received here today?
Well, I think I've been received pretty well because I feel like I'm among kindred spirits. It seems that one of the things about blogging is fairly an isolated experience, but being here, you suddenly realize that the way you talk and think about things aren't so odd after all, because we can almost complete each other's sentences, so it's been extremely positive, and I think I'm having more fun than anyone, so I'm having a good time.
Is it a little odd because you're a very well-read blogger, as was discussed at the panel, and there's a lot of people who, link to you and read you on a regular basis, so you're a semi-rock star to a lot of the people here. Is that a odd feeling?
It is odd. I think what people are attracted to is something that's not mine. I came from a wonderful family, had a fantastic education, and I've benefited, from the generation that preceded me, who took their, time out of their lives to help me out. And so I just feel like it's a chance to give back to people who I've benefited from, and I continue to benefit from. I think one of the best things that's happened is I've discovered the amazing people that are behind the voice or the written words that I've entirely for. But I think that the culture needs young, passionate defenders of faith, and that's the community of friends that I'm blessed to have. So I'm just one of many. I'm glad to be here.
Now, your blog recently migrated to CatholicVote.com.
Catholic Vote Action. You can still find it at AmericanPapist.com.
And can you tell us a little bit about Catholic Vote Action for the people who don't normally read a Papist blog?
Sure. Catholic Vote is a grassroots political organization that's trying to inspire people to think Catholic, live Catholic, and even vote Catholic. And so we're just, educating people about Catholic principles and social teaching, how to be actively engaged as a citizen, and how to let our faith form even our political ideas and choices. And it's a really positive conversation that clearly has to be had, because I think a lot of Catholics are still confused or used to leaving their faith outside the voting box.
Now, evangelicals, for example, and Protestants, especially a lot of the conservative ones, and Catholics have an awful lot in common, especially faithful Catholics as opposed to cafeteria Catholics. Have you seen much coexistence or cooperation between those groups?
I think
since working.
There's a lot of there's some issues that threaten not the church but the human person, and anyone who's a Christian has a vision of humanity that's inspired by the revelation of Christ. And so on issues like life, traditional marriage, the right to free assembly, and to practice your religion, these are things that we all hold in common. And there's certain things like the Manhattan Declaration at manhattandeclaration.org where Christians can stand up and be counted, and it's written by a Catholic, evangelical, Protestant. There's also a delegation from the Orthodox Church. So we can see how, just like Pope Benedict is trying to bring the various strands of Christianity back to the fold, Catholics are bringing, and working with other Christians, and that's absolutely correct in what Christ wanted for us.
And I'm going to close with a pet peeve of mine that I believe is a pet peeve of yours as well. There are a lot of Fox Catholics, cafeteria Catholic groups that are Catholic in name only. It makes my hair fall out, and I don't have much to spare. As a person who's blogged for a long time, what advice would you give people of faith who are going on the net so that they can tell the difference between an authentically Catholic site and, let's say, a Soros-sponsored Catholic site?
Right, and it's a good point that a lot of these fake Catholic sites are designed by non-Catholics to trick Catholics into voting or, doing things that they wouldn't otherwise do, certainly things that their faith doesn't tell them to do. I'd say a good kind of litmus test is, do these Catholic organizations proudly operate according to the teachings of the Catholic Church, and can they find bishops and priests who will say good things about them? That's one thing that a lot of fake Catholic groups can't do. And, that's a start. I'd say read my blog, because I'll tell you if you're Catholic or not.
All right, and one last thing for people, where can they find your blog again?
AmericanPapist.com.
All right, thank you very much for your time.